enough for Shakespeare, then you know that he was a dude turned on by history. He'd pick up his pen and write a play about the big shot bosses of yesterday. He was hooked on wild real-life events, full of murders pulled off by high-class gents. So if that's your pref, then you'll get your fill with Julius Caesar by Will the Thrill. In Rome way back in 44 BC, ruled Caesar, Big Julie to you and me. He was #1 boss everyone was taught, and he was set for life, at least that's what he thought. Let's join him now as he splits his gnome and is strutting his stuff on the streets of Rome. He's getting it on with the local crowd when he hears an old gent coming on real loud. It's the soothsayer man who predicts events, and he warns Big Julie what the future presents.
Big Julie, I've looked in my crystal ball, and I don't like the hang of it, not at all. On the Ides of March, you'd better lay low, that's March 15th, in case you didn't know.
I get your drift, you're hanging line and clear, but the Ides of March ain't nothing to fear. I'm Caesar, the greatest you'll ever see. Don't front me, old man, you're boring me.
Looking on the scene are a couple of gents, and the rap they're making is quite intense. The first dude is Brutus, a big wheel ace. The other is Cassius, who's in his face.
Listen up now, Brutus. It's all over town. Big Julie's got plans to wear a crown. He'd like to be king, and you've got to agree that could really burn out our democracy.
I hear you, Cassius, and I do agree that Big Julie could sap our liberty, but I ain't so sure it's reached the point we should wax the dude who runs this joint.
Out on the street, Big Julie's aware that there's something sneaky happening there. He's feeling stressed out, as we can see, as he raps with his buddy Mark Antony.
I'm telling you, Mark, that I'm starting to think that Cassius has the makings of a first-class mate. Whatever he's up to has got me shook. I can tell from his lean and hungry look. I'd much prefer toadies who are fat, you see, because things like Cassius, they worry me.
When Brutus gets home, he's all in a sweat, cause he still ain't certain Big Julie's a threat. Hey, sure, Big Julie comes off ambitious, but that don't mean he should sleep with the fishes. He paces the floor all through the night, then at last decides to do what's right. And when Cassius comes in with his killer crew, Brutus tells them all,
I'm in with you. Big Julie's got to go, I do agree. So he'll take the hit and we'll keep Rome free.
Way to go there, Brutus. You won't regret it. For the day is done, Big Julie will get it. And when we're through and his history, we'll also wax Mark Antony.
Not so fast there, Cassius. One hit's enough. Mark's only a wuss, so forget that stuff. Big Julie's our target, and with him rubbed out, Mark will cool it for good. I have no doubt.
while the killers make plans to take over Rome, Big Julie's taking 5 in his fancy home. He's getting a pitch from his stressed-out wife. Calpurnia's her name, and she fears for his life.
I had a dream last night, Big Julie, honey, which bummed me out crazy, and that ain't funny. You were lying there dead in a real bad way on the Ides of March, which is today.
Calpurnia! Baby, don't fret about Caesar. I'm the town's top duke. That's a small-time geezer.
I know your boss, and I groove your style, but cool it, honey. Stay home for a while.
I hear you, baby. While I've still got clout, I gotta show my face. I can't wimp out.
Big Julie heads out, and who does he meet but the soothsayer man spouting on the street?
Soothsaying man, don't give me no line. It's the Ides of March, and I'm doing just fine.
Maybe so, Big Julie, but knock on wood, the day ain't over and it don't look good.
In the Senate House where the killers wait, Big Julie shows up to meet his fate. They rap for a spell, then in a flash, they stab Big Julie with an awful gash. The last one to knife him is Brutus, his friend. Before Big Julie meets his bloody end, he looks at his one-time pal and sighs.
You too, Brutus?
Then he falls and dies. For the folks of Rome, it's a funky time. Big Julie's been waxed, which seems a crime. Soon Brutus comes out to do his bit, to tell the crowd why Big Julie was hit.
Folks, whatever you've heard, I'm telling you straight. We had to wax Big Julie. We couldn't wait. He was gonna be king, and once he was crowned, you'd wind up slaves if he stuck around. So we did our thing and stuck him instead. So don't get steamed.
The crowd gives Brutus a thumbs-up sign. He's a homeboy hero who did just fine. The vibes feel good, they all agree, but they've yet to hear from Mark Antony. Though he's promised Brutus he'll keep his cool, young Mark's a sharpie and he ain't no fool. He's out to make points and make himself boss while he zaps poor Brutus with a double cross. He's smooth as they come, looking fine and proud as he takes the stage and plays to the crowd.
Hey, friends and Romans, they knifed Big Julius, so clean out your ears while I tell you truly. He was Rome's big boss, the town's top gun, and for years in the charge was #1. But Brutus and his gang said we'll wax the schmuck, so they made their point and Big Julie got stuck. Now I truly believe they're wonderful guys, even though some folks think otherwise. Sure, they stab Big Julie again and again, but we know those creeps are honorable men. Hey, I'm not suggesting that you rub them out too, even though that thought's occurred to you. But in case you do, and the rats all die, if you need a new boss, then I'm your guy.
Mark's wacko rap really steams their guts, and soon as he's through, the crowd goes nuts. They yell and stomp and demonstrate, 'cause Mark they groove and Brutus they hate. Now Brutus, he knows he was double-crossed, but he won't give up no matter what the cost. With Cassius he vows to settle the score. They'll take on Mark in an all-out war. Many miles from Rome, Brutus sets up camp to lead his army and wind up champ. Just before the big battle, while his army sleeps, Brutus sees a ghost, which gives him the creeps. It's the ghost of Big Julie, or so it would seem, and freaks out Brutus like a whacked-out dream.
Lay it on me, ghost. Tell me why you're here.
To let you know, Brutus said the end is near. We'll meet again soon at Philippi. Now I've got to split, so for now, goodbye.
When Brutus arrives at Philippi, he finds it ain't no pizza pie. He spots poor Cassius dead as can be, his army chopped up by Mark Antony. Brutus leads his troop in one last thrust, but his army's wiped out and his hopes go bust. He's lost the war and his #1 chum, and now for him, at last, the end has come. Big Julie's ghost meant for him to die, and he kills himself there at Philippi. Mark Antony, he's won the war. He's wasted Brutus and settled the score. But though he's won a famous victory, he sends off Brutus with a eulogy.
Brutus was an ace who hung in tough, a first-class gent who showed his stuff. This was a dude who stood real tall, the noblest Roman of them all.